Welcome to Peace in the Valley, where adventure starts at home. This video is going to be a little bit different than we're normally doing. We're going to show you what it looked like on Saturday morning, right after or right before Labor Day, and absolutely how beautiful this land is. So much of it has dried up since we put in the culvert back in July. And now, if you look down, you can actually see the road is now open too. That used to be the beaver dam. When we first looked at this in January, it was quite difficult to pass. We actually tried to get over, and we sunk down very quickly. So this here is the road to the mountain pass, and the drone couldn't make it very far. This is a Mavic 2 Pro that I'm using, and it's a great drone. You just got to make sure you know how to fix things if it breaks. Keep spare parts. Be sure to have glue on hand, epoxy. You can see our campsite off in the distance, and at this time we had it mowed. But when we first got there, of course, it wasn't. It was all grown up and tall. And we even have a work area down there. Now, we haven't really crossed over much, and we could, but from the ground, it's hard to see how much is wet and how much is not. You can see the tractor there. Right here, we have the sawmill. The drone sure allows us to go in places that we'd not normally do. But this was really a great campsite. There are some spots out here that are muddy that you would sink down into. If we were able to mow it, I'm sure it would clear up right away. There's Angel. She's taking down one of the cameras that you're going to see some pictures from in the latter part of this video. Now here is the beginning, or I guess this is probably the last of what this third pond would be. This is the low-lying areas, and that's mainly what we're going to focus on in this video, is the low-lying areas. We have not really done much other than through the air. This one takes you close. The water is actually rippling from the drone. You can see it a little bit. Fairly close. Now we're going to be coming up into the trees here. We're going to be approaching the beaver dam, the second beaver dam. Or maybe you might call this the third beaver dam. I have not walked over this way, but Angel has. We're going to fly between these two trees here. We're going to navigate our way to try and not hit any of the brush. You can't just fly up. If you feel you're stuck with your drone, you can't just fly up. You'll hit the overhead, the trees, the leaves, and all that. Now here is the dam itself, and you can even see some of the wood right there, and it's pretty tall, and it's holding a surprising amount of water. My question here is, do you think we should break the dam, let the water flow out so we can dig this out, or should we leave it alone? My thought is to break the dam and let the water out. But as you can see, this is actually a pretty big body of water. And it must be fairly deep too, because you don't see cattails in the middle. They're only on the edges. And I was told by a neighbor that there used to be a fireplace that still stood from an old log cabin that would be here. It's obviously, because it was underwater for so long, has deteriorated. But it also means that the ground was probably high enough at one time for a cabin. Now, of course, if the beavers dam it up, it's no longer going to be high enough. But you can see that whole beaver dam right there. You look around and you just see nature all over. And that is the amazing part about this property here in Kentucky. We just absolutely love it. Yeah, there might be bugs, there might be mosquitoes, ticks, lots of ticks. Though this trip we didn't notice a whole lot of ticks. And you can see some seaweed, so that water is obviously stagnant. If we drained this and dug it out, we would definitely want a path on the one side, or maybe both sides, that could be walked around easily and turn that into a beautiful area. It would take some work, but I do think that it'd be worth it if we did turn this into a large pond. But again, we don't really know what it's like underneath the water to know if that is actually a good option or not. Here we get to the cattails. As we make our way to the first pond back here, the one closest to the spring. So far, we have always had water flowing through that creek, and it's always been about the same rate. Now, I would expect that during heavy rains it'd probably be flowing a lot more, and during dry times it might dry up, but so far I have not seen any of that. Now, there's a lot of cattails back here, so this is not deep at all. Not that I'm gonna say I'm gonna go mudding through it. As we start to rise up, you're going to see the different trees we have. You just saw the evergreen trees section. We don't have a lot of evergreens, but that one came pretty darn close to us. Why do these trees keep getting in my way? It's one thing about the safety features on the drones is if you're flying a little bit too fast, it does not really matter if their safety features are working. You're probably going to hit it. So don't fly too fast. You want to be able to catch yourself before you damage your plane. I really did not want to go swimming for it. And look at this. This is just absolutely stunningly beautiful. It's just so calming. Look at that, the sun's rising. Most of this land is, of course, trees. Not all of the trees are massive and big, but the poplar is good wood, and it's just beautiful. There's a big section behind this that we could be looking at We have not hiked there yet. Someday we will, but we gotta keep cutting paths to get through. If you don't maintain property, it just kind of becomes a mess on its own. Tends towards disorder. So the property goes back this way quite a bit. From one end to the other, it's about a mile. Much of the property is obviously quite hilly. Mountainous terrain, lots of rocks, but there's also quite a few flat areas. Whether that's in the low-lying, which is where most of it is at, or along some of the mountain trails, which we're working on clearing. I believe we're going to find several places for cabins that will allow people to get away, to relax and enjoy themselves. You can see now what we saw in this property. When we looked at it and decided it would be called Peace in the Valley, for that is certainly what it is. We hope down the road that many people will be able to enjoy this place, this getaway, this refuge. Under the cover of the trees, you'll see majestic cliffs and just grand views that we are just so enthralled with. We have not taken a lot of time to check out all the wildlife that is there, but we are certain there are a lot. We have seen many deer, and we've also seen a fox, and we have that video coming up here just shortly. Last time we were here in July, we saw a black snake. We also saw a turtle this time, and we've seen several turtles as we have climbed the hills and the mountains. Surprisingly, there's quite a few. I didn't realize they could climb so well. As we approach back down to home base, you'll see how much grass, how much this has changed. I'm going to insert a picture here so you can see it, what it looked like when we first saw this ground. It has changed tremendously. We appreciate everybody who follows our channel, and if you haven't yet, be sure to like and subscribe and share this channel. Here are some pictures that Angel took of some giant stones on the property and where we go hiking, cliffs, and much, much more. One of the things that we recently did at our last trip was put up nature cameras. Use them for both security and seeing the animals, and like you just saw that spider walk across the camera, that was a fun one. We had lots of deer come and visit us, and even at night you saw, or we'll see right here, a fox jumping across the screen, and that was neat. I have it freeze right here. And lots of deer. Like I said, we've seen lots of deer here. These cameras not only show the date and the time, but if you notice, they show the temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit. That gives an interesting time of when the animals like to be about. Are they out in hot temperatures, or are they out in cold temperatures? Or are they just out to eat? Thank you for watching our progress. I hope you continue to follow us and like our channel. Take care and God bless.